Hi friends, so I am back again with an international issue which is having geopolitical implications on the Middle East and the surrounding countries. One is the Israel-Hamas war that is going on, with Israel continuously bombing the Gaza Strip, and there are countries which are trying to show Israel as a terrorist state or a rogue state. Then the conflicts between the Hezbollah and the Israeli forces, Iran, the Yemeni Houthis, and all this on the 13th of April culminated into an attack on Israel by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Islamic Front in Iraq, the Yemeni Houthis, and the Lebanese Hezbollah. And this attack was done with the help of drones, cruise missiles, arty shells, and it was called Operation True Promise. It is said that Iran carried out this attack in retaliation to Israel's attack on its embassy at Damascus in Syria. In view of this attack, many of the countries in the Middle East shut down their airspace, and it is said it was done so that civilian flights do not get harmed, and also people knew about this attack in that area, and they are saying that the other Middle East countries were also supporting it, though not openly. So Iran's attack involved around 170 drones, over 30 cruise missiles, and more than 120 ballistic missiles directed against Israel and Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. A coalition of several countries joined the operation. The Israeli Defense Forces used Arrow 3 and David's Sling. These are basically anti-missile domes which can shield off attacks by missiles and drones. Israel called this retaliation of the attack by the missiles as Operation Iron Shield, and it is said that only one 7-year-old girl got injured in the whole missile attack which was carried out. Israel also states that 99% of the missiles and drones were destroyed by the Iron Shield, and there was no major damage except for the child who was killed due to this attack. This attack was the largest attempted drone strike in history, intended to overwhelm anti-aircraft defenses. It was the first time since Iraq's 1991 missile strikes that Israel was directly attacked by military of another state. As we know, Israel's military forces is supposedly to be one of the world's best, and though it is a small country, their military is quite well trained. And till now, nobody has taken the onus of attacking the Israeli forces directly. So Iran's attacks drew criticism from the United Nations, several world leaders and political analysts who warned that any other further attack would risk escalating this into a full-blown regional war. Israel retaliated by executed limited strikes on Iran on 18th April 2024. So Israel has also retaliated after a few days, and presently with the UN and the other countries stepping in, though Israel is being helped by the European countries and US, and that is how they have got these anti-missile shields and the Arrow 3 missiles. So during this ongoing Israel-Hamas war, the Iranian consulate annex building adjacent to the Iranian embassy in Damascus, Syria was attacked by an Israeli airstrike on the 1st of April, killing about 16 people, including a woman and her son, and also Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Zahedi, a senior Quds Force commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, that is the IRGC, and 7 other IRGC officers. So this attack basically was the key point for Iran's retaliation. However, the conflict between Iran and Israel goes back to the time when Iran was supposedly supporting the Hezbollah, and Lebanon was also in this complete gambit, and Israelis were basically attacking the Shia militants who were being shielded and funded by these countries. So it was basically an Iran-Israel proxy war, and it had its roots back to 2018 when Israeli forces directly attacked Iranian forces in Syria. Motivated by the periphery doctrine, Imperial Iran and Israel had close relations, seeing Arab powers as a common threat. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran cut off relations, but covert ties continued during the subsequent Iran-Iraq war. Iran trained and armed Hezbollah during Israel's 1982 invasion of Lebanon and continued to back Shia militia through the Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon. Even before 1979, Iranian Islamists had materially supported the Palestinians. After 1979, Iran attempted relations with Palestinians, PLO, and later with Palestinian Islamic Jihads and Hamas. Israel was basically fighting against the PLO and then Hamas, while Iran was supporting these organizations which were anti-Israel. So that basically was the epic eye of storm which was pinching Israel. That Iran, instead of fighting directly, was creating a proxy war with them. So all this was basically brewing up in the Middle East, and with the ISIS coming up in Syria and Iran supporting it with Israel against it, created a regional conflict between these two countries. So during this attack on 13th April and 18th April 2024, the United States coordinated the multinational defense of Israel from northern Iraq to the southern Persian Gulf from the Combined Air Operations Center at Al Quaid Air Base at Qatar. The US, UK, France, Jordan used their own forces to intercept Iranian projectiles, and France also deployed its navy to provide radar coverage. Said that Saudi Arabia had automatically intercepted any suspicious entity violating the airspace. So accordingly, we can see that Israel, which was being backed by the NATO countries, and Iran by the Middle East countries, while this is a regional conflict between Iran and Israel in that area, but has implications and repercussions at a much higher level with better powers or more powerful countries being involved and US playing a major role in this complete regional conflict in support to Israel, while it is still showing sympathies towards the Palestinians in Gaza, and Biden telling Israel not to carry out these attacks. So why this hypocrisy? So it is basically the US which is playing a double role and pushing Israel towards conflict, and Israel with its poison in mind for Hamas because of its initial attacks has promised to clear Hamas from the roots itself. So, hours after beginning of this attack, Iran's envoy to the United Nations stated that the retaliatory attacks can be deemed concluded and that Iran would respond with stronger and more resolute action if Israel were to make another mistake. It also urged the US to stay away from the Iran-Israel conflict. President Ibrahim Raisi said that Iran had taught a lesson to Israel through the attack as Supreme Leader had promised. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Commander Hossein Salami called the attack more successful than expected and threatened retaliation for any Israeli counteract. But Israel, on the other hand, says that Operation Iron Shield was totally a success and 99% of the drones and missiles and shells were destroyed. So in the aftermath of this attack, tensions in this area have gone up. Oil prices shot up during that period. Israel retaliated back with an attack on Iran, and surveys from the Western countries say that the Iranian attack was a flop, while the Middle East countries call this attack as a success. So many countries have condemned this attack, many countries have supported this attack. Our country itself has taken a nuclear stand and condemned and requested both the countries to calm down the tensions in that area, because the world is at war and tensions are rising in all the areas. Like we have the Ukraine-Russia war going on, the conflicts happening in the Middle East with the Israel-Hamas war also there in the same area, and the Houthi militants attacking and troubling traders and disrupting the sea links. So let us all think positively and try to bring our minds to peace and control our angers so that war can be stopped and tensions brought down. So please keep listening to our channel for more such informative videos. If you have anything to say, please put it down in the comment box below, which will be aptly replied. And also like, share and subscribe to the video. Jai Hind.